Welcome back. I hope you guys had a great day on Friday doing virtual field day. Today we're going to cover 16.7 part 2. Before we get into that, we're going to look at our workbook pages from Thursday. So a watch is 15 minutes slow. So slow is that important word there. It shows 12:50 a.m. What is the actual time? So we should always be drawing these timelines. Now, if the clock is slow, it means that the time is ahead. So we're going to draw a timeline here, and we need to skip ahead those 15 minutes. So our start time is 12:50. Now we need to think, we're going to jump to that next solid hour, because when you jump past that, it gets a little confusing. So we're going to jump 10 minutes here, and then we need to go a total of 15 minutes, which means we need to jump 5 more minutes to get a final answer of 1:05 a.m. Number 2. A clock is 20 minutes fast. So if it is fast, that means it is ahead of the actual time. So we need to work backwards here. So that means this is really our end time. And since this one is just 35 minutes, we can subtract 20 very easily. So we can do this as one jump back of 20 minutes. And that would bring us to 9:15 p.m. Alright, so our next page, Joseph takes 50 minutes to install a software program. How long does he take to install 4 such software programs? Give your answer in hours and minutes. So for this one, we need to be thinking about, okay, it's taking 50 minutes to install the program, and he's doing it 4 times, which means we're going to multiply by 4. Now, what we can be doing is thinking about 4 times 5 is 20. Plus that other 0 gives us 200 minutes. Now, again, we cannot leave it like this. So this goes back to what we learned previously. So we need to think, how many hours can we pull out of here? So 1 hour is 60 minutes. Yes, we can take that out. 2 hours is 120 minutes. Yes, that works. 3 hours is 180 minutes. That works. And 4 hours is 240. So that goes over. So that does not work. So we are going to pull out 3 hours, and then what we're doing is 3 hours is 180 minutes, so we're going to subtract in order to figure out how many minutes are left. If you could just count up, that's totally fine, but sometimes it helps to do the actual subtraction to get 3 hours and 20 minutes as your final answer for that. Alright, Mr. Separando left home at 6:35 a.m. He took 1 hour, 5 minutes to travel to his office. What time did he reach his office? So, don't get confused on this one that they're saying he left home, because typically we think like if you're leaving, it's, you know, it could be either one, especially when we're talking about flights and stuff. It can get confusing. So try and put yourself in this situation. If you're getting in the car and leaving your house, and then they want to know what time did he reach his office. The other thing to pay attention to is time, where this one asks to give your answer in hours and minutes. Our start time is going to be 6:35 a.m. and we're trying to figure out the end time here. What time did he reach his office? So we can jump that first hour right away, because jumping 1 hour is simple. So that's going to bring us to 7:35, and then we need to jump those last 5 minutes. So that would bring us to 7:40 a.m. So going to part 2 today. So again, we're doing multi-step word problems with time and temperature. We're mostly going to be focusing on just time here, but let's take a look at our first one we'll do together. So Raul spends 1 hour 40 minutes doing his homework. He spends another 45 minutes on his piano practice. He finishes his homework and piano practice at 5:30 p.m. What time did he begin doing his homework? So the first step we need to figure out is how much time is he spending on his homework and piano practice. So we're going to do that by adding up this time. So we're going to take the 1 hour and 40 minutes that he was doing homework and the other 45 minutes that he was doing piano practice. So 1 hour, 40 minutes plus 45 minutes and that will give us 1 hour 85 minutes, which again you should notice right away that this is not how we can leave our final answer. It cannot be 60 minutes or over. This is where we need to do a conversion here. So we can pull out an hour from this, which would then give us 2 hours because we already had one, and then we need to think 85 minus 60 because we moved that hour and regrouped it over, and we will have 25 minutes left. I got hours there for me already. Alright, so now we need to figure out what time he started. So he did both those things for a total of 2 hours and 25 minutes. So now we are going to be working backwards. So something that it should kind of clue you in here is typically we wouldn't do this all in one jump. I would prefer you doing a 2 hour jump to here, and so that way you're not getting confused. So count back to 2 hours, which would bring us to 3:30, and then go back those 25 minutes to 3:05. So he began doing his homework at 3:05 p.m. So you're going to be doing the let's practice here. You are only doing 4 through 6, so you only have 3 problems to do. Now for this one, that he leaves his grandmother's house at 7:15 p.m. He takes 1 hour 40 minutes to travel home. What time does he reach home? So this is when he's leaving, so that's going to be your start time. We want to know what time he got home, so use that timeline. Number 5, Florence takes 4 hours 55 minutes to travel from town A to town B. She reaches town B at 4:45 p.m. What time does she leave town A? So you need to think town A is the start time. She's going from town A to town B. So town B time should be your end time here. And then the last one, Ms. Ramirez prepares meals for senior citizens. It takes her 15 minutes to prepare each meal. She prepares 8 meals. So the first thing that you're doing is figuring out how many hours she spends preparing the 8 meals. Now, when you're doing this, obviously this is in minutes, so you will need to be converting this last one into hours because they want the answer in hours. And then they would like to know how many meals could she prepare in 3 hours. So figure out how many hours is 8 meals and then go from there. Remember to raise your hand on this slide once you finish, and then you are doing workbook page 165.